So I genuinely believe that Hollywood as a whole is in its own bubble, right? And I know a lot of people are going to agree with that. Hollywood is definitely in its own bubble, its own ideology bubble, and they seem to think that they are doing what's best for the fans, but in the same breath, they will usually insult the fans, or they will blame the fans, or they would do something along those lines is going to make the fans feel like they're the fault for the reason why the show is terrible, or they're the fault for the reason why the show didn't do as good as it could have. They always blame the fans, but then you have people like director Ron Howard from Solo: A Star Wars Story who will come out and make a weird claim that Lucasfilm somehow loves the fans and they really do listen to the fans. It's weird to hear a director make such a claim because at the end of the day, it's really not true. And we all know as fans that it's not true. And we've been fighting back and forth between the directors and Hollywood and what we feel in terms of fans. And at the end of the day, it all goes to crap because nobody seems to be getting across to each other, but they are the ones who are in charge of the actual product and they want to blame the fans for their product not succeeding. So we're going to get into the article, guys. This one comes from some good old Bounding Into Comics, and it says, Solo: A Star Wars Story, director Ron Howard makes bizarre claim that Lucasfilm loves the fans, and they really do listen. It says, Solo: A Star Wars Story director Ron Howard recently made the bizarre claim that Star Wars parent company Lucasfilm actually loves their fans and listens to them despite repeated evidence to the contrary where they have derided and denigrated them. And like I said, Star Wars was one of those brands that really took off the whole fan hating thing. You know, like the whole Ghostbuster 2016 thing was probably like the real incarnation of it. But I gotta say, Star Wars is definitely one of those brands that loves to just go to that, right? Like anytime they release a new series, it doesn't matter what it is. If it even slightly fails, they're going right for the fans. They're going to blame the fans no matter what. It's their target numero uno. They're going to go for them. There's nobody else to blame other than fans, and that's always been their mantra. So I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to do it. But then when they make claims like this, it's like, who are you really speaking to? Who do you really think you're trying to fool here? It says, speaking with MNE while providing an update on a possible sequel to Solo: A Star Wars Story, Howard first indicated Lucasfilm has no intentions of making a sequel after the film bombed at the box office, despite the film being an obvious vehicle for spin-offs with the return of Maul and the recasting of Lando Calrissian and Han Solo with younger actors. Howard told the outlet, the only discussion that I'm aware of about a sequel for Solo is coming from the fans at this point. He added, I don't think it's a Lucasfilm priority as I understand it. However, Howard then went on to claim Lucasfilms loves its fans. Yeah, I'm sure. The only fans that they love are the ones who are going to shill for Lucasfilms. That's it. That's all they that's all they do. And you know, like you'll see like those kind of people that'll go out and they'll just be hardcore shills for anything. They don't really care. It's like they want to be like the whole counterculture thing, right? So they see a show getting hated. They want to be the guy that's going to come out and say, no, it's good. You're just all stupid. You know what I mean? You get those kind of people that come out and say that or act that way, and Star Wars has a lot of those people. Honestly, a lot of this entertainment spectrum has a lot of those people, but Star Wars especially does, and I've seen them multiple times. You got YouTube channels who do it. You got different kind of Reddit groups that do it. So listen, that's just what that is, and we come to expect it, and some of them just do it to claim to be edgy. You know what I mean? It says, he stated, but there's some great characters launched, and the folks from Lucasfilm love the fans and really do listen, so I would never say never, but I'm not aware of any concrete plans right now to extend the story or deal with that particular set of characters. It's hard to imagine Lucasfilm loves its fans when Lucasfilm president, good old Kathleen Kennedy, made it crystal clear from the onset that she set out to radically alter the company and its products that it creates. And Kathleen Kennedy is on record literally saying that she wants to radically change everything. That's literally what she said. She wants to change the entire structure and the lore of not only just Star Wars, but whatever brand she ends up working with. That's what she wants to do. To the point where literally George Lucas was informed that there was going to be massive changes going on, and he was not happy with it. But at the end of the day, they went forward with it anyway. Kathleen Kennedy does not care about the Star Wars brand. She is only there to shill for her ESG scores, and that's it. That's all she's trying to do. Her money, I guarantee you, is based on some sort of ESG metric, which is why they push it so hard, and the whole diversity, equity, inclusion nonsense that they constantly push. Their ESG scores are tied into that, and their bonuses are tied into that too. So I would guarantee you that their money, is causing a conflict of interest in terms of making a good product and putting out something that is going to make you a lot of bonus money. It says, back in 2015, at Fortune magazine's Most Powerful Women Summit, Kennedy revealed the role she played in making Rey the main character in Star Wars The Force Awakens, which everybody hates. Nobody likes the Star Wars sequel that came out. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes the latest trilogy. Very few people. I would honestly like to meet some people who genuinely liked it and want to hear why they liked it. Because from everybody that I've spoken to, some of the hardcore fans, some of the not so hardcore fans, nobody liked it. So if you did like it, let me know and just tell me why you liked it in the comments below. I would really love to hear it. She responded saying it's one of the first things JJ and I talked about, and that we talked to Alan Horn about. It was a very early decision and choice, and something that we worked a long time developing. She went on to discuss her conversations with a number of licensing partners about putting a female character as the main protagonist in Star Wars. She stated, I think the interesting path we've had is the conversation that took place around consumer products, because there was a lot of companies that were in place who frankly didn't initially feel that Star Wars was for girls. And honestly, I don't really blame them for necessarily feeling that way. It's not that there wasn't a ton of female fans for Star Wars, because you don't have to look very far to see them, but I can understand why people would think that Star Wars is a masculine brand, because it usually generally was. So it only recently with identity politics did it become something other, but before then it definitely was more of a masculine type show. She elaborated, and when you have a company situation where between Lucasfilm and Disney, we were all looking at this situation saying, no, with Star Wars, we have to change this. We have to make sure that we create products that are in the sense of appealing to both boys and girls. What's wrong with that? Well, I could tell you a bunch of things that's wrong with that. First off, where is the demon self and demon them people? What about the frog self and frog people? Like, you're just boys and girls? Like, that seems very binary. Kathleen Kennedy, I don't understand what's going on with this comment here. You're definitely not being very inclusive here. You need to change this. Boys, and somehow fit everything else that you made up, and then girls at the end. I think that'll be a nice way to start your apology, Kathleen Kennedy. While she would initially claim she wanted products for both boys and girls, when she provided an example, it was specifically for creating products for girls. Kennedy said, I mean, even with simple things like t-shirts, there's a fantastic story with this young woman who came to Lucasfilm in 2009. She plays the character of Ashoka in both Rebels, and she also had a role in Clone Wars, and she came to Lucasfilm in 2009 saying, why aren't there clothes that are tied to Star Wars for girls? And she struggled for quite a while and put a company together called Her Universe, and it's doing unbelievable business. Well, is it really? Are you just saying that, Kathleen Kennedy, or is it really doing unbelievable business? Because you guys are trained in political speak. You're designed to literally speak without speaking. So you are trying to put in little hidden messages here by saying it's doing unbelievable business. Well, I don't believe you, so I would like to know how well that business is actually doing. I could look it up sometime later, but this video will be too long. It says, not only did Kennedy reveal she wanted to ensure that Lucasfilm was more of a girl brand, but early in the panel discussion, she also made it clear she wanted to also change the demographics of the company's employees. In fact, she claims she already had. That's amazing, because if you guys remember, I made a video where we were discussing the actual race of people that were hired at Disney and especially Lucasfilms, and the majority of it is white. Shocker. And the majority of minorities that are working in that company are usually in some sort of cleaning service or some sort of service that you would expect from most minorities, because it's stereotypical. It's amazing how these companies that like to claim that they are so diverse, so inclusive, hire very stereotypically, and they never really think outside the box, because they honestly don't want to. They want to keep the status quo as it is, and they only want to pretend in public for their ESG scores that they are completely against it. I promise you, someone like Kathleen Kennedy doesn't give a crap about you. Let it be known, let it be understood. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought of today's story, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.